Welcome to another meeting of TV Holics Anonymous. Welcome to another meeting of TV Holics Anonymous. My name is Ruru, and I am a TV holic. So Mimi's not here again today because she hasn't watched this yet. I really want to get her to watch this, and we might do like another kind of like episode by episode recap of it. But I just have to get into this right now because I think it's so interesting and so different from anything out there on the internet or on Netflix right now. So this is a Netflix show. It's a Korean show, and it's called Better Late Than Single. It premiered in 2025, and I just want to talk about the concept. So it's kind of a bit like Singles Inferno. If you like Singles Inferno, you'll like this, but it's really frustrating as well at the same time. I found it so frustrating the first few episodes, and then to hear like the conclusion, to see the conclusion, and to hear the like what happened, updates in people's lives later on from like, gossip on Reddit and other places on the internet, on YouTube and like TikTok and other social media platforms. It was quite frustrating as well. So let me just talk about the judges. So there's just like in Singles Inferno, there's like a panel of judges. So there is Kang Hana and In-guk and Car the Garden. I don't know what his name is. What is his name? Cha Jung-won. And then Lee Eun-ji. So again, I'm sorry, I'm not Korean. Sorry if I butchered anyone's names. Please correct me in the comments section if I'm saying anything wrong. So the cast for this show, there's like quite a lot of people on this show. I'm actually trying to find like the singles that were on this show. So basically, it's a show about people who are in their late 20s to 30s, and 30s who have never ever dated before, have never like been in a relationship before. And it's very awkward, very weird, but also very intriguing at the same time. And you kind of like end up rooting for like the people that you want to not win, to like be coupled up. And the levels of frustration rise as you're watching it. Well, for me anyway. Like I said before, I think the posting panel, not the judges, they were also cupids, so they helped kind of like set these people up on dates. And it kind of, they kind of gave them guidance and gave them like a makeover and stuff like that before they went. It was just like a brief little thing. So I think it was like a day that they spent with them or something like that. I think it was not enough. I felt like they needed like an intensive course on how to, get the girl or get the guy. And also on this show, I felt like the girls were really like, forthcoming and very like, they're very positive, and also they like put themselves out there, and they were like really good communicators. The guys were like a whole mess, and I don't feel like it's their fault. They have like their own issues. I feel like there could be like factors of like maybe that people are on the spectrum. Like a few of the guys on this cast I just thought perhaps might be on the spectrum. It's just my personal thoughts. Anyway, I'm not trying to diagnose anyone, but yeah, so let me pull this up actually on Instagram, because on Google it's just giving me the basic the judges. So I don't think I'm gonna get anyone. Okay, so let's start with like the girls. So there's Jisoo, and she is into the teddy bear type, and that would be Song-ho. I believe his name is Song-ho. Trying to find him. Yeah, so she's into, sorry about how disjointed this is, but yeah, Sung-ho, I believe his name is. Let me find him. Let me find him. Sung-ho. Sung-ho. Anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. So she's into him. He is all over the place. He claims he's into her, but then not really. And then, when he went on a date with her, the first date, she like declared that she was into him, and he just carried on driving, which was so weird. And he's not a good driver, so maybe he's trying to concentrate. But even when they got to the date, he basically was acting really strange and told her that he's not, that he picked someone else for the first impressions. And then the second date, like 15-minute date that they went on, he kind of declared that um he just kept talking about this other guy, this new doctor that came in. Um yeah, and all the guys when the doctor came in were super insecure. Even the medical student. There was a medical student as well. Um I believe his name's Kyung-hyu. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Um so yeah, he's a medical student. He was super insecure as well about that. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? Okay, so yeah, so she ended up basically with this other guy. What's his name? Okay, so the doctor, he's a surgeon, and he works at Samsung Medical Center. Um, and he basically, they showed him in the beginning, and then they never really showed him going on any dates apart from the first day that he was there. Then they kind of like phased him out. There was another girl as well, and they kind of phased her out as well. She the doctor and this other girl who's a Japanese teacher, they were only there for like they came in late. They didn't come in at the start with everyone, and that was really strange. Also, the not directors, the makers of this show said that the participants weren't really like talking to each other much, so that's why they had to introduce like this 15-minute date situation, because they weren't even communicating, and it was really like frustrating. They had not enough footage, so that's what they had to do. They had to keep putting 15-minute dates because they just sat there or they went back to their rooms. Very, very strange. Yeah, so let's go back to Jisoo. So Jisoo, basically, she is a ballerina, and she had a stalking incident when she was younger, and that's why she's also like very like has like anxiety, has a lot of anxiety, and I think she has like panic disorder as well, and she prefers staying at home, and that's why she hasn't met anyone. And also, I think she wants a teddy bear type because she feels like she wants someone big and strong, like to look after her, like and be around her and protect her, because she's afraid of like this happening again, or like the stalker coming back, or this is just my interpretation of her, like, or something in those lines happening to her. So I think that's why she wants like someone big and, you know, bulky, so no one will mess with her, kind of situation. So she ended up with Sung Ho, I believe. Not Sung Ho. Who's this other guy? I'm trying really hard to, I don't know what's going on with my phone, but Seung-li, that's it. So she ended up with Seung-li. He, I don't think, was a right fit for her either, but I think she picked him because he was also quite big, um, like muscular and quite big. He claimed that he was into her, but he couldn't remember anything she said, like about the stalker situation, or why she wanted, how she felt like she's not a very like put together person, or she's not very like a stable person. He kind of just like forgot that, and she was really pissed about that. But then she kind of just like forgave him and just like glossed it over and thought, okay, great, I'll just be with him. So they ended up together. They never even held hands throughout the whole show. Like there was no physical contact between those two, and also there was no physical contact between her and Hyung uh her, what's his name? Damn it. I'm trying to scroll down on my phone and okay. Hyung-kyu, I think his name was, the medical student. There was no physical contact between her and him either. So she was courted by three guys essentially. Seung-li, um Sung Sung-ho, and um Hyung-kyu. None of them were a right fit for her. They're all terrible. Hyun-kyu ruined it for himself because he was so desperate and insecure and constantly needed reassurance. And I felt like he just wanted someone to fit into his life kind of situation and was saying like some of the right stuff, but kept like he just wouldn't leave her alone. It was like so like gross. He was so clingy and oh, he was making me feel like suffocated. Like watching her with him, it was gross. So then the other guy, okay. So then there was Jeong-mok, and everyone was into him because I think he was the only like funny guy or the guy that could talk to women, I guess. And he was tall. So um Min-young and Min-young and what's the other girl's name? Sorry about that. I sneezed, guys. Double sneezed. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, so Min uh Yao Yeo-myung? Yum, the smiley girl. Kim Yim. Oh God, I can't do these names. I'm not like accustomed to Korean names, so it's difficult for me to pronounce them. Uh Yao Myung Myung. Okay, her and Min Young and also uh who else was there? And the girl and Ji-yeon and also Yi-do as well. They were all into him. So he had like a plethora of women like chasing him basically. Uh he was into Do and then she was into Seung-li and Seung-li basically rejected her on their deep beach date. And then she was upset about that and then she kind of gave uh Jeong-mok a chance. And Jeong-mok basically, when he went on a date with her, he went on a few dates with her, and then he kind of realized like she seems a bit selfish, and she said that she comes first, and then her family, and he puts his family first, and I think that's the thing that he didn't like, but he didn't really articulate that to her in too many words because obviously that's rude to say that I don't like you because you're selfish or you put yourself first and I like to put my family first kind of thing. So he just said we have like different values basically. So, but he didn't really like reject her. I think he should have properly rejected her like Seung-li did to Do because then she could have moved on. Sorry about my allergies, guys. So you might hear me sniffling throughout this podcast episode. Anyway, so yeah, so Seung-li rejected her, which was good. I think you need rejection so that you can move on. And he wasn't really rejecting everyone. He was just leaving like a trail of bodies, basically, because so he just kind of like dumped her and moved on to Ji-yeon. And he also had Min Hong uh into him. And she basically was the oldest of the women, of the girls, and she liked him, and she thought from the start that he was into her, and she also thought that the other guy, the shy guy, I forgot his name. The super shy guy. Jin-young. Uh, where is he? Let me find him. Let me find him. Um, uh, Jae-yun. Jae-yun. Yeah, Jae-yun. She thought that Jae-yun liked her too, but no. Um, yeah, she had a lot of presumptions about people, and she thought that Jeong-mok was into her, and she went on a date with him, and they went to a haunted house thing, and he didn't really even hold her hand or anything in that, so I don't know how she drew the conclusion that he was into her, but he wasn't into her. So that was kind of embarrassing for her. Anyway, so she didn't end up with anyone. Jae-yun, he liked Yao Yeo-myung. Yao I can't say her name. Uh Yao-min. Yao-min. I don't know how to say her name. Anyway, he liked her and she didn't like him. She liked Jeong-mok as well. Jeong-mok ended up going to uh Jae-yun, Ji-yeon, I believe, and he connected with her because she had like a really sad story about her life. Her dad was very abusive, and that's why she didn't ever want to be in a relationship. And she felt like she's been taking care of everyone her whole life, and she just wanted someone to take care of her, kind of situation. And they kind of like went on a. They're the only couple that went on a overnight date, and they kind of like slept in the same bed together, and they like had a lot of physical contact and were kissing and stuff like that under the covers. So that was like really like out there for like Korean TV. That was like super salacious. And then they ended up leaving the island, leaving like Jeju Island together. Oh, by the way, this was all in Jeju Island, and they ended up leaving the island together. And then we find out later that they've broken up. So apparently they were together for like 2 months, and then like they broke up, and they don't follow each other on Instagram anymore. Also, the other couple that left together, Jisoo and Seung-li, I don't believe they're together either, but I don't think it was as bad a breakup as the other two. I'm not sure. Also, Jeong-mok got a lot of hate on social media, and his family also got a lot of hate on social media from the public in South Korea. I think that's a reason why a lot of people don't want to go on these dating shows and things like that, because although they get fame, they are judged heavily. I think it's a culture where people are judged, and um everyone is held to a very high standard, and that's why people don't want to like hug or kiss or even touch on TV, because they are ostracized for things like that. Also, I do believe that it's just like kind of like in that sense it's like a very toxic culture, but there are so many great aspects about the culture in South Korea too. So like any culture, there's like good and the bad. Like I'm in Britain, and we have like such a different culture. Like we have like loads of toxic things, and then we have like loads of great things. So, there's a bit of both for everything. The Japanese teacher, they didn't really do much with her. Song Ho claimed that he liked her, and then he didn't like her, and then he put his in the end he decided out of nowhere to like, when they were leaving and they had to put their like picture in someone else's book to couple up with them, he decided to put his picture in her book for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with him. Um yeah, and then he just kept eating the whole time. Like he lost all that weight, and then he just decided to gain it all back while he was on the show. He was like heavily eating. Doe was extremely upset, and what I didn't like about what Doe did is that she just kept trying to throw herself on to Jeong-mok when she could see Jeong-mok was trying to move on with Ji-yeon. and he's trying to talk to Ji-yeon. Like, it was so desperate and horrific to watch. And he also told her he was giving her mixed signals, so I understand, and she was just trying to mark her territory and stuff like that, but she just kept saying, "Oh, you can go if you want. You can go if you want," or things like that. Like, she should have just been like had some pride about herself and been like, oh, "Okay, so this guy is moving on with someone else, so let me just cut him off. I don't need him. I don't want to like lower myself or degrade myself just for this guy. I can do better." But I guess it was all of their like first kind of relationship things, so it was hard for them all. Also, the show's producers said that Jae-yun reached out to them and said that he has been dating someone and it's been about 2 or 3 weeks that they've been together or something like that. So that was interesting. So I'm glad that he got a date. He was the sweetest. Literally, I felt so bad for him when he overheard the girls talking about him after his like bad date. I think he just is too much in his head about like what people are going to say and if I'm going to hurt someone or if someone's going to be upset with me, or that's why he doesn't speak, because he's afraid that he's going to get a bad reaction from people, which is really sad. I feel like he should just speak and be like, oh, so what if they don't like me? Who gives a fuck, basically. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I don't know if I missed anyone out, any of the girls or guys. Is there anyone I missed out? I can't remember. Yeah, so a lot of people hate Jeong-mok. Um, uh, I think it's sad that that nobody wanted to date the other two, the newcomers, the Japanese teacher and the surgeon. And I think it was wild that the surgeon had that bright yellow bleached hair with his roots showing. I mean, he's a surgeon. I'm sure he can like he wanted to represent himself better, didn't he? Like, it was just weird. Um, yeah, so uh um, 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 I'm just trying to get a better idea of these people. I hate that they're not on social media anywhere. Like Min Hong and like they are on social media, but they're very like they don't show anything. It's just really frustrating. And they don't even have that many followers, any of these people, because I guess they wanted to stay out of the limelight. It's very weird. Anyway, I loved the show. I found it frustrating at times, but good at other points. I don't know if I missed anything, but hopefully me and Mimi can like do this recap better, because I know I've got allergies and I kept sneezing and like sniffling and everything like that, so I know it was a bit like disjointed. But hopefully I'll get Mimi to watch this and then we can recap it together. So anything I missed, we can talk about. Um, in general, I enjoyed it. It's quite addictive TV. Like any Korean reality TV show is super addictive. I don't know what formula they use to make these shows, but even like their K-pop, their K-dramas and stuff, very, very addictive. So I'm gonna be off to take something for my allergies. And yeah, subscribe and all that stuff. And we're on, socials too. Bye.